What if we committed that the only words we say are going to be words that help and build up? I've been to a lot of funerals, and I've always heard somebody say at these funerals, that person never said an unkind word. And I'm thinking, really? Really? They've never said a mean word. They've never said an unkind word. They always said stuff that built other people up. And I'm going, wow, they must have been born a saint. Because I know that's something that we are so prone to do, and it's so easy to do. But what if we lived our lives that somebody said that about us? You know, when I talked to them, they only said things that built me up. They only said things that encouraged me. They only said things that made me become more of who I'm supposed to be. That's a lot. Get rid of bitterness and rage and anger and slander and all that stuff that eats us up, that makes us distracted from what we really need to do. But they did me wrong. It's not fair. You're right. They're broken people. We are all broken people. Why let it fester and eat us and become a cancer within us? Let it go. And I won't break into Frozen's. Let it go. But you know what I mean. Let it go. Forgive them. That's what it says. Forgive them like Christ forgives us. And then the final thing is, you look at it, you go, well, but I can't do all that stuff. I can't manage my anger and get rid of my crap and rage and speak kindly to one another and all that stuff. And it's like, well, it's not like this is what you have to do programmed. It's not a bondage thing, because it's basically saying, be more like Christ. Because Christ forgave and forgives. Become more like an emanator of Christ. You know, you think about that and you say, how do you do that? And I was thinking about different families. And I'm going to pick on the De Pasquale Whitaker family. This family saw Scott helping around the church. He was an usher. And all of a sudden, one day, Lucas wanted to be an usher like his dad, right? He imitated his dad. He saw what his dad did. His dad got up in the middle of worship, and he took the offering plate, and Lucas wanted to do that. He became an imitator of his dad. And then Teo saw Lucas doing it, and he needed to do it too, so we now have two aisles. And then Tessa saw him, and she's in training. They imitate their dad. And what the core of what the Ephesians text is saying is, imitate Christ. You know, I don't know what your family backgrounds were. Maybe you have dads that were just somebody who was so awesome. Or maybe you had an absent dad, but you have people in your life who you can imitate, who you know that when they're in that place where they really want to gossip and say, boy, I got the lowdown on so-and-so, and if anybody did, it was Jesus. I got the lowdown on him. But I'm not going to speak it. And to honor whoever that was that mentored in my life, I'm not going to speak it now. I'm going to imitate Jesus, and I'm going to say words that build up and not tear down. I'm going to imitate Jesus and let that anger go. Because if anybody had a right to be angry and rage and all that, it's Jesus, right? You know, he didn't get the best life. That's the call. And the challenge this week is not that you get this list and, you know, put away anger and falsehood and bickering and blah, 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 and you put it in your bathroom wall and on your mirror and, you know, on the car and that, so you're constantly remembering that I have to do all these things. I'm just going to invite you to pray, God, help me imitate you. Jesus, work in my life that I imitate you. And maybe we can focus on words that build up and not tear down. Or maybe we can focus on letting go that anger and rage and hurt. But this week, I pray that you allow God to work in your life so that we can be that family. When I say, because Jesus Christ has broken down every wall and every obstacle, it's important. Because whether you realize it or not, we are family. We are family of God. And when we have things that cause us to bump up against one another, we need to act like a family. We need to love one another. We need to imitate God, our Creator, Christ, our brother. Let us pray. Help us, O God, to imitate you, to just naturally follow in the footsteps that you've already demonstrated for us, to put away anger as Christ gave up anger, and to speak words of encouragement, to be the family you've created us to be, so that the world can look at us and see that we are different than everybody else because of our relationship with you. We pause now and we lift up our thanksgiving, our joys, and our prayer concerns.